All right, today we are digging into a really fascinating and, I gotta say, pretty demanding document. It's called the Code Ready Implementation Plan, and it's a proposal for the Bay Area that wants to completely shake up early childhood education, all focused on computer science. So let's just jump right in and see what this thing is all about. Right from the jump, the plan puts its mission front and center. I mean, talk about a headline, right? Chicano and Black children start coding at age 3. It's designed to grab you, and it really sets the stage for everything else in the proposal. It's urgent, it's specific, and it is totally uncompromising. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. This document isn't playing around. It's not a suggestion, it's not a pilot program they're hoping someone tries out. No, it's presented as a direct, top-down mandate for school districts in the Bay Area. It's framed as something that needs to happen, like yesterday. So you have to ask, why push for something so extreme? Well, the plan argues that it's a direct response to a full-blown crisis. It throws out some pretty stark data to make the case that a radical solution isn't just an option, it's the only option. Let's take a look at the numbers they're using. This is it. This is the number the entire plan is built around, just 1%. And it's a number that's really meant to make you stop and think. But 1% of what? And there you have it. According to the data in the plan, even though we're talking about the heart of the global tech industry, Black students make up this tiny, tiny fraction of kids taking high-level computer science exams. The document also points out that only 16% of test takers are Hispanic or Latino. This huge disparity is the exact problem this plan is designed to just eliminate. And the plan's argument is that this isn't just about individual student choices. It's about systemic access. As you can see right here, schools that serve low-income communities are 4 times less likely to even offer an AP Computer Science A course in the first place. So the plan argues a barrier is in place long before a student even gets a chance to sign up for the test. So what's the solution? Well, it's called the No Excuses Framework. And yeah, the name pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the philosophy here. It's designed to be totally non-negotiable and incredibly demanding for every single person involved, students, parents, and the school districts themselves. You can't get much more direct than that. The plan puts it in all caps, so there's absolutely no confusion. It positions this whole framework as an immediate requirement, basically shutting down any room for debate or delay from the school districts it's aimed at. And we are talking super specific requirements here. For kids aged 3 to 5, it's all about logic games and recognizing patterns. But then, look at this. By ages 6 to 8, every single child has to be able to type and run basic Python commands, print their own name and address, and pass their math and reading tests. And the expectations just keep climbing from there. But the plan doesn't stop with the students. Nope. It reaches right into the home. And once again, the document uses this bold, all-caps lettering to make it absolutely clear that parent involvement isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a mandatory core part of the whole system. And the plan lays out exactly what that commitment looks like. Every parent or guardian has to sign a contract. In it, they promise to read with their kid every day, go to monthly workshops, learn some basic Python right alongside their child, make sure coding gets practiced at home, and of course, sign on the dotted line. It is a serious list of duties. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. A plan this huge, this ambitious, it has to cost a fortune, right? It must need a massive budget. Well, this is where the document makes a really surprising claim. It can all be done with zero new funding. Let's see how they figure that. Yep, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the $0 question in this case. The plan sees this skepticism coming a mile away and tries to tackle it head-on, explaining how these massive goals can be met without asking for a single new dime from anyone. The whole strategy is basically about creative resourcefulness. The plan argues that the resources are already out there, they just need to be pointed in the right direction. It proposes using things like the San Mateo County Library's free laptop checkout program for computers, existing federal Title I funds to buy books, and free online platforms like code.org for the curriculum. So what does coding at age 3 actually look like? It's not like they're handing toddlers a keyboard and telling them to get to work. It starts with these foundational logic skills. For the 3 to 5-year-olds, the curriculum is all play-based, using stuff like blocks and puzzles to teach sequencing, pattern recognition, and cause and effect. You know, the absolute building blocks of computational thinking. But once a student hits age 6,
things get very real very fast. The curriculum becomes incredibly specific. This table here breaks down just the first 12 weeks of Python. They start with simple typing and the print command, but by week 12, they're expected to be writing simple loops. And every single one of these skill blocks comes with a test to prove they've mastered.
All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it might be the most intense part of this whole plan: accountability. The document lays out a super rigid system of tests, tight deadlines, and very serious consequences for students, parents, and even entire school districts if they fail to get on board.
Wow, I mean, you can't get much clearer than that. The plan works on a strict mastery system. There's no social promotion here. A kid literally cannot move on to the next level of work until they have passed every single test for their age group. And when they say passing, they really mean it. Just look at the requirement for Python basics for kids aged 6 to 8. 100%. Not 99. 100. No errors allowed. Now, for math and reading, there's an 80% threshold. But for the core coding skills, the plan demands absolute perfection, right from the very beginning.
And this pressure cooker isn't just for the students. It is squarely on the districts, too. The plan demands immediate action with this really strict 12-month implementation timeline. Within just the first month, districts have to formally adopt the policy. By month 3, that pre-coding curriculum has to be up and running. It is an incredibly fast-paced schedule.
So what happens if a district just says no thanks, or they don't meet the deadlines? Well, the plan has an answer for that. It's got teeth. Failures will be publicly reported. Districts could lose flexibility with how they spend their federal Title I money, and if things get bad enough, it could trigger mandatory intervention from the state.
And we'll end our look inside this document with its final call to action. This quote really just perfectly sums up the entire plan's tone. There's a sense of moral urgency, a total rejection of any and all obstacles, and just a raw demand for immediate, sweeping change.
And that really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? This code-ready plan essentially reframes education. It's not a service anymore. It's a high-stakes, binding contract between the school, the student, and the parents, with very specific terms and very real consequences. So what happens to learning when it's built on a foundation of no excuses? It's a powerful thought to end on. Thanks for tuning in.